Don't have that though.
All right. Settle down. We live, y'all. How many children we got here today? It's a nice amount of y'all. I count 17. What y'all think?
17?
18.
The most so far.
Khalid, go back and get my charge.
Got a little Terry down there.
18.
You don't see him
18,
back there?
including little Terry.
You don't think he ready to learn?
He ready.
He ready.
He ready.
You get that. Make sure you don't kick this. Matter of fact. Up close and personal.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Whoa.
That was real.
That was like so lackluster. Like, if that was a pass or a fail, y'all probably would like fail right there. So I'm gonna ask one more time. Well, I'm not gonna ask. I'm gonna greet y'all one more time. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
That was all right. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay, y'all waking up. All right, so what we did with last week? Who knows? Honor your father and your mother. What did we get from honor your father and your mother? Huh? If you honor your father and your mother, you can lengthen your days. Okay. What else? What else did we learn last week? If you be disrespectful, your days will be shortened. Okay. Right. You don't know how many days you actually have. So anything that you do that's contrary to respecting and honoring your parents could cause a loss of days that aren't numbered. But don't lie. Always. Never lie. How many of y'all lied this week since last week? Be honest. Hey, that's an honest brother. That's an honest sister right there. So ain't nobody else lied all week, huh? If you had to think about it, you know, all right? Keep that consistent. Like, no, I didn't eat your candy, Dad. A little bit. Put your hand out. Hurry up. Your daddy said. All right. So, parents, I asked y'all to be here today, right? I did ask the parents to be here. It's for a reason. So y'all got to put y'all thinking caps on today too, because this is going to be addressing both the parents and the children. We did one like this before called Message to the Parents about a year or two ago. It was a lesson called A Message to the Parents. It was like 30 minutes long. This one's not going to be long either. But I think it's imperative that we deal with this, right? If you will, turn to Psalms. Who know what the book of Psalms is? Raise your hand if you know what the book of Psalms is. Know what the book of Psalms is? Help everybody else out that may not know. Turn to the book of Psalms. This is children and parents. The book of Psalms, chapter 127. Psalms 127. Parents, how many of you know that your salvation depends on how you instruct your children? You're not a parent? I hope you're not a parent, brother. I hope not. Okay. How many of y'all know that? You know that? You know that? You know that? Okay. Brother Eric, you know that? You know that? Okay. So this is why this lesson is imperative. The family structure is a give and take structure, right? But think about the Most High with the children of Israel. He gives, but he also requires something, right? So it's a back and forth. It's never just one-sided. When it becomes one-sided, then children of Israel go into captivity, right? So the family household, the family structure is one of the most important things when it comes to the scriptures. The reason why I say that is because that's where everything starts. The first entity that your child knows coming up is who? You. You are the representation of the Most High that they need to see in order for them to be acceptable to the Most High when they get older. So if you don't display that piece of the Most High, then it may be hard for them to kind of move into that direction, right? Psalms 127, and we're going to read at verse 3. When does I get there? When you get there, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay. Everybody in the back good? Psalms chapter 127 at verse 3. It says, lo, children are a what? A heritage of Yahuwah, and the fruit of the womb is his what? So heritage, inheritance, same type of thing, right? So he says, your children are your heritage. This is your inheritance from the Most High, right? And he says, the fruit of your womb is his what? Reward. So just on a normal level, how do you treat a reward? How do you feel about a reward? Are you appreciative? You're appreciative of a reward, right? How do you show your appreciation to the Most High for giving you a child? To give him back. What you about to say, anything? Anybody else? How do you show your appreciation? Parents? Well, we can't expect them to be answering if y'all don't answer.
Raise them up in the Most High.
Raise them up in the Most High. Okay. So, what other thing did the Most High give the children of Israel as an inheritance? The land, right? That was our reward, right? We didn't do nothing to earn it. He just gave it to us. When we stepped out of line and didn't do those things that were conducive to stay in the land, what did he do? He kicked us out, right? Sent us away. And along the way of that, a lot of people died, right? So if he's telling you that your children hold the same weight as him giving you his land, that means that you have to do something to properly keep it up, right? Proverbs, the 22nd chapter. Proverbs 22. Oh, why is this acting crazy? Proverbs chapter 22. And we can pick it up at verse 6. Y'all children, y'all make sure y'all listen. Remember, last week we went over what? What did we go over last week? Honor your father and your mother, right? If you don't honor your father and your mother, it'll make your day short, right? Keep that in mind. But parents, we got to understand that you got a job to do too. Proverbs 22 and 6, it says, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. When you see train up a child, what you think? What do you think? Teach him in the right way? Okay. What you think? Build him up. What about the word train itself? Teach. If I just said train, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Prepare for? Okay. Develop. I like these words y'all throwing out. I'm into that. First thing that comes to my mind is a dog. When I hear the word train, first thing that comes to my mind is a dog. Right? Reason why it comes to my mind is because all my life, when you hear the word, I had to train, it was more times than not talking about a dog, right? Who in here owns a puppy or had a puppy before? Okay. Did you teach your dog how to use the bathroom outside or on a mat or anything? Who's done that? Who's taught their dog how to use? Okay. How did you get your dog to realize that they had to do that? You got peed on a few times. Okay, what did you do to prevent that? There was nothing you could do. Who else? Ain't no y'all. You ever trained a dog?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you? You did what? Took him outside at a certain time. What else? Discipline. Go ahead. What else you want to say? Okay. So, main thing with training the dog to use the bathroom outside is repetition. Is to continue in those works, right? Consistency. So when the Most High is saying train up a child, you got to think in the same way that you would train a dog. How many days off can you take with training the dog? None. Because as soon as they feel like they can get away with something, they're going to continue to do it. So once you start it, you got to go all the way with it in order for you not to have your house smelling like pee and ubu. Right? Your children are the same way. Consistency is key. Right? Verse 6 again, it says, train up a child in the way that he shall go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. A lot of us not even thinking about what's going to happen when they 18, 19, 25. You looking at how they are right now. You're like, oh, they're so cute. And this and that. Oh, that's all right. They can do this. Oh, it's all right. They can get away with that. And children, I'm pretty sure y'all love that, right? All right, you ain't in trouble. And then you just go and do it again, right? But we got to understand that as parents, it's repetition. It's over and over and over again, instilling the same thing over and over again. Or if you don't, they're going to do just like that dog and pee in your house and boo-boo on your car when you got company. Right? Get the book of Exodus, chapter 30. Matter of fact, we'll get Deuteronomy first. Deuteronomy chapter 6. So when he say train up a child, what is he telling you to train your child to do? To worship him. Right? What else? What else? Huh? Honor him and do what? Keep his commandments, right? How many of you parents go over the commandments with your children on a consistent basis? How many of you parents take the time out to teach your children Deuteronomy chapter 6? How many of y'all take the time out to teach your children the word of the Most High? Consistently? Okay. How many of y'all pray with your children? Consistently? These are the things that we took, and this is why I say this is going to be based on your salvation, right? These are the type of things we got to think about. The stuff that go in the back of your mind. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but we got to put what the Most High told us to do first. Y'all children, listen up. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 6. Matter of fact, verse 5. Verse 4. Y'all know how I do. Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Everybody there? Say hallelujah when you get there. Hallelujah. 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 All right. Who's still trying to get there? Raise your hand. Let us know so we won't move past you. Okay. Can't let them fall by the wayside, y'all. You can't be so focused on your salvation that you lose sight of theirs, because their salvation is directly linked to you. Other than coming to service like, just to be honest, when they in service and we teaching the adult lessons, a lot of these children don't pay attention. Feel what I'm saying? A lot of them don't pay attention. So where is their time that they learn the scriptures? It's got to come from you. They go to school how many days a week? 5 days a week. For how long? 8 hours a day. For them to continue to instill the same thing over and over and over and over again. Right? We got to take some time out and do the same thing. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, "Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim is one Yahuwah, and you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might." Parents, how many of you love the Most High with all your heart, soul, and might? All right? I'm going to ask you this question. How many of you know that your children love the Most High with all their heart, soul, and might? How do you know? How do you know? Hold what you got. Get Deuteronomy chapter 30. Yep, Deuteronomy chapter 30. I'm sorry. You got to know if your children love them. And how would you know? If you consistently own them about them and you understand how your child's relationship with the Most High through you. Feel what I'm saying? Their salvation depends on what you teaching them. What you displaying. So does your salvation. Deuteronomy chapter 30, and we'll start at verse 1. How many of y'all want to be saved? Because we're going back to Deuteronomy 6. How many of y'all want to be saved? Everybody. Who want to be saved? Everybody in here, right? How many of y'all want to get out of this captivity? Everybody in here, right? Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. It says, "And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind among all nations, where Yahuwah have driven you, and return to Yahuwah your Elohim." What does he mean to return to him? Keep his commandments, go back to his laws, right? "And return to Yahuwah your Elohim, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I command you this day, you and" who? You and your children. The salvation of the children of Israel out of these captivities is predicated on all of us turning back to the Most High, not just you. A lot of times we focus on our own salvation because we like, I don't want to go to the pit. I don't want to be looked at as less than in the eyes of the Most High. But you forget about the ones that's under you, your babies, right? He says, you and your children with all your heart and with all your soul, that then Yahuwah Elohim will turn your captivity and have compassion on you, and will return and gather you from all nations where Yahuwah have scattered you. He ain't coming back until we get it together with us and our children, right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 6. So, when I ask, how many of y'all teach our children about the scriptures daily, or go into the Bible and teach your children the commandments and help them learn the commandments as you learn the commandments? For example, the pride thing, right? That's what's been heavy on us last month or so, right? How many of y'all sat down and had conversations about pride to your kids? Feel what I'm saying? You know how heavy it is in your life, right? You know how heavy it is in your life, right? In your life. This is something that you should be talking to your kids about, because I bet you can see it on them. I bet you can. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 6. And we're going to pick it back up at verse, I think we left off at verse 6 again. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 6. Actually, verse 5. It says, and you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be where? In your heart. And you shall do what? Teach them diligently. What does the word diligent mean? Very carefully. What you say? Constantly. What you say? Constantly? That's a good word for it too. Constantly, thoroughly, right? He said, you shall diligently teach unto your children, and you shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. How many of y'all been doing this? Now, dig this. This is a commandment. Right? So if I ask you, are you keeping the law? And you say, yeah, but then you don't do this. That means you breaking the law. Right? This is why I say your children are directly linked to your salvation, and you are directly linked to their salvation. If you're not teaching your children this word, you cannot expect for it to be in them. You can't. It's impossible for you to expect, oh, well, they're going to get it. They see me coming to Shabbat every week. It don't work like that. You got to talk and you got to teach your children. It says, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. Verse 9, and you shall write them upon the post of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuwah your Elohim have brought you into the land which he swore unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities which you build not, and houses full of all good things which you fill not, and wells dig which you dig not, and vineyards and olive trees which you plant not. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahuwah. If you don't teach your children because he commanded you to, then you're forgetting him. You're forgetting something he told you to do. I can't let you come into my land like that. Remember, the parents of everybody that was 19 and under, what happened to them? They died. They was acting unruly. So what were they showing their children? To act unruly. They weren't teaching their children, hey, Moses just said this from the Most High, man. We got to do it. They was too busy into their own self. Right? But the kids ain't off the hook. Y'all ain't off the hook by a long shot. Because even though you understand right now that your parents are supposed to be teaching you, what should you be doing? You should be trying to learn the difference from right and wrong. What's about to say? You should be willing to learn. Hey, Dad, Mom, we ain't got the scriptures today. But a lot of us, we allow our children to be so busy on these phones and tablets and all that different type of stuff because it's busy. Here, take this gun. Right? How many of y'all got phones in here? How many of y'all got tablets? How many of y'all spend more time on your tablet and on your phone than in the book? Right? Those phones and tablets are our children's lives right now. Feel what I'm saying? What you about to say, AZ? And TVs. That's right. And video games. You got a lot of video games, huh? Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just the amount of time that you spend on them needs to just be cut back. Because the more time you spend on those is the less time you spend with the Most High. Right? How many of y'all children say y'all know the Most High? You know? What you know about him? What you know about the Most High? What you know about the Most High? I can't hear you. Come here. He said, eat from the tree of life, because if you won't live. That's true. He said that, right? Make sure you eat from the tree of life. Let's look at something, y'all. Get Colossians chapter 3. Help your children if you got to. Get to Colossians. Colossians, I know we're going to get back to regular scheduled programming after this, but we really need to hit this. Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3. We're going to read verse 20. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 20. Let me know when y'all get it. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 20. Colossians chapter, come on in. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 20. Y'all there? Say hallelujah. All right. It says, children, obey your parents in what? All things. Do that say some things? Did I say if they call you and tell you to come here, you wait until they call you again?
No.
How many of y'all do that? I used to do that. Your mama call you, your daddy call you. Go ahead. Now, that's a good thing, right? If your parents tell you to do something bad, now, you can't put your parent over the Most High, right? So when you say bad, what do you mean? Hitler bad. Sheesh, brother. Golly. If your parent tell you to eat pork?
Yes. Or to lie.
Or to lie.
Yes.
Who want to take a stab at that one for me? If your parents tell you to eat pork or lie, what should you do?
You don't do it because that's putting your parents over the Most High.
You don't do it because that's putting your parents over the Most High. Anybody know what he said again? What if they give you a whooping? I gotta take a whooping. Your parents are not gonna tell you. Well, I hope y'all parents don't tell y'all. Hope y'all parents don't be telling y'all to eat no pork. Y'all in here better not be telling y'all kids to eat no pork. Report to me. If they tell y'all to eat some pork, come and let me know. Man, my daddy had me eat a rib sandwich. Right? But he says, he who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Huh? What about lying? If your parents tell you to lie, should you lie? What did the Most High tell you? Don't lie. He said, I came to set a man at variance father against his son, mother against her daughter, right? The word is going to separate. We understand that you have to make sure that you are in right standing with the Most High, no matter what, right? What about your parents being in right standing?
If they do something wrong, you end up not doing it. Should you just like, okay, consistently go to that?
Should you try to help your parents? Of course, in a respectful way. In a very, very respectful way, right? But you gotta understand they're still adults, right? You can't force your parent to do something they don't want to do, right? But it says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is what? Well-pleasing to the Most High. Fathers or mothers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. I'll give y'all an example. Me and my son, before he goes to bed at night, we race from the living room to his room, right? And this particular day, I beat him the first time. I usually let him win, right? I beat him the first time this time. And he was like, oh, no, we got to race again. So I beat him again. And I beat him again until he was boo-hoo crying and was like, we got to race again. We not going to stop. He wanted to keep racing until he won, right? So I call this me trying to get the pride out of him, right? You ain't always going to win everything. It's down the third, right? And I will win again and win again and win again until he was still balling out crying, but now he's yelling at me, telling me, we got to race again. Stop beating me. This, that, and the third, right? Now, I had to think about this particular verse right here, because even though I call myself trying to teach him a lesson, I'm provoking him to disrespect me. It's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So I had to kind of leave him alone in that aspect and talk to him about it. He understood way better when I sat down to talk to him about it than when I was trying to teach him and making him feel a certain type of way, right? Let's go over to Deuteronomy chapter 20. Actually, 21. Deuteronomy chapter 21. So it says, obey your parents in all things, right? Respect your parents, right? Let's see something. Let's see something. Deuteronomy chapter 21. Pick it up at verse 18. Now, if you don't instill in your children the proper principles that the scriptures lay down, how can you expect them to fully honor and obey and respect you? Right? You got to lay down a foundation. Deuteronomy chapter 21 at verse 18. Now, listen up, children. It's for y'all. It says, oh, well, let me know when y'all get there. I'm sorry, I see people still turning pages. You there? Say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18. It says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son. What does it mean to be rebellious? To go against what your parents are saying? What does stubborn mean? I can't hear it. Somebody said something. What stubborn mean? You only want to do what you want to do. What else? Nope, not to be ignorant. Ignorant means not knowing. To not know. Not listen, right? You just want to do what you want to do. So he says, if any man have a stubborn or rebellious son, it's talking about daughters too. Don't think y'all off the hook, right? Which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, what does it mean to be chastened? Disciplined by what? The whooping, right? When they have chastened him, he will not listen to them, Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him. Now, think of this is back in the times where we were in the land with the temple, right? But I want you to imagine this happening to you for not listening to your parents. It says, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out to the elders of the city unto the gates of his place. So imagine your parents grabbing you by your shoulders and picking you up, right? Walking you out to the elders, right? He says, and all the men of the city shall do what? Who reading with me? Ain't nobody reading with me? They shall stone him with stones. That he do what? That he die. I'm gonna read that one more time. And they shall, verse 20, and they shall say to the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious, and he will not obey our voice. Can your parents say that about you right now? You don't listen to them? That you go against what they say? You listen to everything your parents say. How many of y'all listen to everything your parents say? How many of y'all do everything your parents tell you to do all the time? Right? How many of your parents done whooped you and say, I gotta keep telling you the same thing over and over and over? Uh-oh. I see some stubborn. That's stubborn. Yes? That's rebellious, yes? So, everybody that's stubborn and rebellious, he says, verse 21, and all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shall you put away evil from among you. So when you do these things to your parents and you being stubborn and you don't listen, the scriptures call that evil. Right? Is the Most High evil? Would he want you to be evil? That's why he killed them kids. That's why he had them killed. Could you imagine after you get a whooping and you're like, oh, I don't care about what they say. And you keep doing what you want to do and your mama and your daddy bring you up here. They won't listen to me. And we go and grab all them big old rocks outside and tie you down to a chair. Start hitting you with rocks until you lose your life. Could you imagine that? It's kind of gruesome, right? Just because it don't happen right now, don't mean that the Most High won't take you out for being stubborn to your parents. That makes sense? You sure? Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Just something as small as not listening to your parents or being stubborn to your parents would have got you killed, got you stoned to death. What if they wrongfully stone you? What do you mean wrongfully stone you? What would they do to wrongfully stone you? You didn't do anything? Like what? Like remember, the only reason they will bring you to the elders is if you won't listen. You won't do what they tell you to do. What if what? What if they just didn't like you? Then the Most High would deal with them. Remember, the elders of the city would have to judge the matter. Like, oh, you don't want to listen, huh? You ain't doing right, huh? It was a council, right? It wasn't just, hey, kill my baby. I don't want him. It wasn't like that. What if you do what they say, but the parents don't realize that you're doing what they say? Give me an example. They actually sweep the floor. Okay. I would whoop your butt if that happened. So did y'all hear him?
No.
He says, what if your parents take you to the elders because they thought you didn't do something when you did it, right? So I told him, give me an example. He says, hold on, y'all, hold them questions. Keep them in your mind. So he says, what if your parents tell you to sweep the floor, but they didn't specify when? So you go back an hour later and you sweep the floor. Say that out loud. I want everybody to hear that. That's being petty. Why? When your parents tell you to sweep the floor, when you supposed to sweep it? It ain't no time frame. Sweep the floor. All right. Hey man, didn't I tell you to sweep the floor? You ain't say when. That's a whooping. Go ahead. So what if you swept the floor and your sibling came and messed it up, right? And you say, well, I did sweep the floor, but they messed it up. What should you do right then?
Sweep it again.
Say it one more time. Sweep it again. Ain't no buts. Ain't no buts. Listen. There is no buts in that matter. Because who do your parents want to sweep the floor? You. So if they come and they ready for it to be swept, and your little brother and sister done messed it up, you let them know, hey, they messed it up. But I'll kindly sweep it again. Say it one more time.
So you sweep the floor every single day. Everybody knows you does it. They tell you to do it anyway.
They tell you to do it
I
anyway.
don't know why they tell you to do it again. They know it's going to get done.
Okay, so did y'all hear that? She said, let's just say a child sweeps the floor every day. The parent knows that the child is going to sweep the floor every day, right? And then the parent tells them again anyway. Is that provoking the child? What say you? Why is that not provoking? Anybody else got an answer? Parents. I want to make sure you're going to do it, okay? Not that she's not saying like you see something on the floor, but she's saying that. So basically, you know that they're going to sweep the floor every day. They do it diligently, right? But you say, hey, I want you to sweep the floor today.
No, just walk in the house. Clean the house. Right now.
Is it clean when they get there?
Maybe not all the way.
So do they got a right to say
Clean
it?
every day. And I don't even make sense.
Okay, so the expectation is for it to be clean when you get there, right? That's the expect. This is the thing we got to make clear. You got to make the expectations clear, right? If I want you to have the house clean by the time I get home, that means what's supposed to be done? The house supposed to be clean. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about that today in the lesson, and I really want y'all to pay attention. Okay? Go ahead. One more question. So just don't do a bad job. Do a good job. You know if you did a bad job. You just said it. If you're 6 or 7, I'm pretty sure there will be a step. There's a step before you go to the elders. You get chastened. If they feel like you being stubborn or rebellious, remember this is about being stubborn or rebellious. It's not just saying you did one thing wrong, right? It's saying that you're consistently doing this. You're not listening to them. You're not paying attention to them. You're shrugging them off, right?
So my question is, okay, so about the promotion. So like you come to your child as a teenager, you come to them and give them instructions. They you like a parent, talk to you like
Hold it down, y'all. Hold it down.
I give you instruction. I give you a chance to do it. I want you to do X, Y, and Z. Please do this. The child doesn't do it. So now you're mad. Like I told you, I gave you a chance to do it on your own. So now I'm in a yelling mode. I can't. Every time I look at you, I'm getting mad. And now maybe my words that are coming out of my mouth are upsetting you because now I'm beginning to hurt your feelings, or if you had a backhand or something, because now
Maybe you thought back.
I got upset now. I done got upset now because one, I gave you a chance to do it, and to let you do it, kind of like let you do it on your own, and I can't even nicely talk to you. But now that I'm upset, I'm handling the situation because I'm angry. So in that case, then it would be like provoking the child.
No,
No, still not provoking the child.
no. That's not provoking a child. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my question is, so next time when that happens, when you have young adult children, you should just don't even give no option. I said do this, do it now, and
You have to train the child. Remember, train. If you take your dog outside every day and then they decide to pee on the floor, knowing that you take them outside every day, me personally, I know that I whip my dog. I give him a couple licks, right? Yeah, I mean, it's on camera. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, huh? Sometimes. Well, hand shot? What's that?
Hand shot. So we go to pet.
Oh no, they don't do that to me. But I will. I use newspaper next time. But the moral is, I spank my dog just like I spank my kids. If you know that I expect something of you, and you continuously choose to do something opposite or don't do what I say. Remember, he said, spare the rod and do what? What does the word spoil right there mean? Who knows? No, it doesn't mean spoil or rotten. No, it means to ruin. If you spare the rod, you will ruin your child. And a lot of times that's what takes place. We choose not to discipline them, and then after that, it gets worse. And it gets worse. And then when you try to go and whoop them, it's like they've already got instilled in them what they already got instilled in them. So it's beginning to be too late for that aspect. So you move on and you don't whoop them again. And they get worse and worse and worse, out of hand. And then you get more conformative to their actions. Oh, just get out of my face. Oh. You hold the same respect to them as the Most High. But you got to do your job. Because he told you to train up a child in the way that they'll go. Get Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. We're going to end it off in a minute. But let's see this. Let's do a little project here. Let's do a project. It's 1 o'clock. Let's do a project real quick. We're going to read this Romans 12. Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. When y'all get there, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Now, parents, this is for you. Children, y'all understand that you're supposed to honor and obey your father and your mother, correct?
Yes.
You understand that if you don't, then there's consequences to pay, correct? Okay. Parents, what do you understand about today? What are you supposed to do? Train the child up, diligently teach them what? The word, the law, the commandments, right? When you sit down, when you walking, when you instill in them this. It's your job. This is a commandment. If you don't do it, then you doing what? You breaking the commandment, right? There's no way in the world where the Most High should say, I accept you. But because you didn't teach your child, I'm going to let them go by the wayside. No way. Because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, right? It says, and be not conformed to this world. What does it mean to be not conformed to this world? Not be in it. You in it. Not doing what they do, right? Huh? Be what now? Leave the world. Don't believe the world. Okay, I'll take that. Parents, be not conformed. What does it mean? Don't be like the world, right? Now, what if the norm for children is to wear subjective clothing? I'll say that again. The norm of the world is for children now to wear subjective clothing. Because it's acceptable in the world, should it be acceptable to you? Do you do it? The world feels like it's okay for your children to be homosexual or be in the vicinity of other homosexual chillers. Got him. That was a B, y'all. It was a B.
Oh.
All right. It's still there? Oh, man. Oh, okay. I got him, though. He should be gone. All right. Because it's okay for the world, should it be okay for you? How many of y'all know about social media? How many of y'all parents know about social media? How many of y'all know what's on social media? How many of y'all know what's on social media? How many of your children have social media? How many of you monitor your child's social media accounts or whatever? So let's do something real quick. Hold on. Let's do something real quick. Parents, get your child's phone right now. Get a phone up. Get the phones up.
You trying to erase it?
Who still got their phone?
Get his phone.
Somebody get the phones up. Get the phones up. Uh-oh, that brother erasing. I seen. That brother was like, Dang, brother.
He got that look in his face.
Okay. Now, I only did that for you to see how your child reacts.
Yep.
It's up to y'all whether you go on their phone or not. What I did that for is for you to see how your child reacts. Right? It's a lot of stuff that go on social media. It's a lot of things that they're acceptable to on social media. And in school. We got to understand that although it's okay with the world, the stuff that goes on these social media sites, the stuff that they see and are able to get readily at their fingertips on a daily is not okay. It's not acceptable. Some parents in here have dealt with those type of situations, right? So if you instill the word in them, that may choke this other stuff out. Right? You got to make sure that they're getting the right stuff in them. Remember, I said they stay on them tablets, them phones, all this stuff all day long. They're learning the world more than they're learning the Most High. How many of y'all see your children talk different after a while, using different type of slang and all that you ain't never, right? They walk different, they act different. It's because what they see. But they see what they are allowed to see. So keep that in mind. Remember, parents, they're under your umbrella. Are you going to let it rain on them? Or are you going to allow the umbrella to protect them? That's all I got for today. Did anybody write down the scriptures? But the lesson is on YouTube. I didn't have this stuff written down. But if anybody do, share it with my mom. If not, then it is on YouTube. Next week, children, it's gonna be just y'all again. That boy say, I want my phone back, man. What y'all doing out here?
You see nothing on my phone. I take pictures of people.
You don't see nothing on my phone.
That's on my phone.
I see some erase spots.
I didn't read nothing. I was just waiting.
Shalom, y'all. Shalom.